click this report. Now, this is a crime analysis report that spans from 2021 to 2023. So in this report, we're going to be looking at the total crimes, the resolved cases, and the unresolved cases. Now, assuming you've been contracted as an analyst to analyze crime records from 2021 to 2022. So these are the focus area. How many crimes happened between those years? What kind of crimes are mostly prevalent? And what time of the day are crimes likely to happen? How many people are involved? What is the ratio of resolved crimes to unresolved crimes? So we'll be handling that. Okay, this is our blank report. Let's import. Okay, so you're going to be checking the content of each table and check if there is any changes that can be done on this table, and also take a look at the data types. Now, from the crime person, the crime ID, people involved, crime row ID, and person ID, they are all in numerical data types. So this is okay. So this data set has two fact tables, and other ones are dimension tables. So this crime person, as you can see, is a fact table because we have multiple foreign keys here. Crime row ID, crime person. Why this crime ID is the primary key. So going over to the crime rows, crime row ID, and this. Okay. Crime types. So we have this. So there's no need to actually check for any duplicates here because there's only 12 rows. So for the crimes, this is the table where crimes are being recorded. So let's check across the. We have crime date time. We're going to split this column to only have the time because this date is the same as this. So we only needing the time. So for us to split this, we're going to use the transform and extract. Go to extract. So it should be text after the limiter. So text after the limiter, what's the delimiter? The limiter is space. Put a space there. Okay. So it has extracted the dates. We're going to change this data type to phone number. Okay. We have an error. Let's change it to time. It's actually, let's replace the current step. But this is time. Okay, showing 100% error here. Let me cancel that step and redo it. Okay. So we have this. checking other columns to check if their data types are in place. Okay, moving over to the last table, the people's table. Person ID, name, date. So all these ones are okay. Now we are going to close this and load it to our Power BI. Close and apply. We're going to wait until this is loaded. Yeah. And let's go back to the tables and check the preview of each table. So since we have a date column, we need to have a separate date table. And this separate date table will help us to, um, carry out analysis on a granular level. So we're going to create a date table, new table. Okay. Or is date table? So we'll create a variable. Our house, our calendar table. Equal to calendar, we use the calendar function and also the date function. So the date in the data set spans from 2021, 1st January 2021, and it ends 2023, 12 December 31st. So this is what we want to be retrieving from the date. Now we'll return, I will add columns to the date table, and the column that we'll add is first we'll return the date table. It's these columns here. So let me use a small letter here. The year function. I'll be pointing to the dates, which is this calendar table. Comma, return month. Month function. Also return the date table. The month name. So instead of typing this, I think I'll just copy it from for this month's name. We're going to format the dates in this format. Close brackets. month number that will appear as numerals. So format the date, return it as one single value. Of the day, format date, return the day, brackets. The last one is weekday. It's so we have this. Now let's go to our model view. This is where we'll create the relationship between the whole table. If you take a look at this, the relationship has been automatically created. Now we have to check if the connections are how we want it. Okay. The person is connected to prime persons with person ID. So I'm going to arrange this way so that our two fact tables will be on the middle. Okay, I'm going to check my connection on this. Checking this. This is the fact table, and this one also the fact table also connected to this. All right. So the crime rows is connected to the dates, is connected to only crimes. The people. All right. I think that's correct. Now we're going to add this to this. We have made a connection between the dates table and the crimes. Okay. And this is our connection. And exactly what we have here. Let's start our analysis. The first thing we need to do is to calculate the measures that we'll be needing. Looking at this report, what we have here is the total crimes and the year-over-year changes on total crimes, same as resolved cases and unresolved cases. I think these are the three KPIs that we'll be focusing our analysis on. Now, let's get down to it. I'm going to create a box where we'll put our measures. I'm going to call it calculation. So let's load that. Now let's start with total crimes, knowing the crimes that happened during those time. So we have total crimes. So we're going to use a distinct count on the crime person Let's check the value. Let's view the total crimes and see our value. Okay, the system is lagging behind. Yes, we have 2,500 crimes. So the table that we use in calculating this total crime is this crime percent. Now, this crime has 7,461 rows, but we are getting 500 crimes, meaning that this crime ID one might have appeared severally in this table. So that's why we use a distinct count. So I'm going to delete this column because will not be using it. So we're going to do a calculation on the year over year transfers. We calculate the previous year crime. All this previous year crime. Use the calculate function. Total expression, total crimes in the previous year. Previous year, the date table on date. So we close brackets. So this is our value for previous year crime. Now this is showing blank because we haven't inserted a slicer yet on the date. Now let's insert a slicer. Okay, I will take here. So we have 3 years here. Let's give it one side. So if you are checking 2022, you have the previous year, which is 2021, had 405 total crimes. Now, let's calculate the year-over-year change. If there is, let's check if there is a decrease or increase in crime. So how do we calculate that? So call it year-over-year crimes. Should now be equal to, we're going to create a variable called, let's call it a difference, right? Now this difference will start with a format that will put it in a format that we want. The difference, put it in a format that we want. So what is the difference? We want the difference between total crimes and that's minus previous year crimes. So we want it to be in this format. Positive value or a negative value. A negative value, close the quote and close the brackets. Now, also create another variable. What will this variable doing? Now, this variable will bring the change. We call it change. In the divide function. That will divide total crimes. That is formula we have over there on top. Previous year total crimes. Divide it by, sorry, no brackets yet. The denominator is previous year total crimes. Also, that's how the divide function is. You are dividing the numerator with a change. It's the previous year total crime. We're dividing the numerator, which is the formula on top. This divide with this format, you want to divide it by previous year total crime. That's the brackets. Now let's format this value to be in percentage. Call it percent. So we want the format of change to be in this format. The value percent sign. Value to percent sign, depending on if they are negative or positive values. So have this. Create a condition that will return our value with the text. So call it condition. And the condition is if if the change is greater than 0, want it to retrieve the Unicode character of 129029 and percent format that we calculated and close brackets in quotes and the difference and the quotes it's this value cases from last year. The small letter. I'm going to close this comma or I'll copy this and paste it. Same value but a different unique character. 129031. Close brackets. So return the condition because the condition now has all our measures. What is this? Enter, let's see the value. So let's see the condition. So we have yes. This is what we want for it to retract. Now, this total crime, we want it to appear as text because we are going to use a line chart and use the title for this total crime. So the title does not accommodate numbers, so we need to format the total crimes to be as text. We create a new measure or total crime text. This is the border. Now we're going to format the total crimes to be as text. Okay. We also need a color that changes based on the condition. That is, if the value is up, it's going up, we'll return a red color. So if the value is going down, we'll return a green color. So that will now be year over year color. Total crime. So I'm going to copy it from. We can have a calculation for that already. Is it? So the change that we calculated, if it is greater than 0, let it be green. Why is it green instead of red? Because there is no crime again. There is a decrease in crime rather. So it will appear green. But if it is greater than, if it is less than 0, let it appear red. Because crime is going up. I hope you understood the logic. So let's come over here and replicate that. Yeah. So I think I have previous year total crime. Okay. Previous year crime and previous year crime. Yes. Okay. Let's have this. So we're going to replicate this for resolved cases, all these for resolved cases and unresolved cases. Now let's calculate for resolved cases. New measure. Call it resolved cases. We're going to use an iterator. Count rows. Count rows. Count X rather. I will count for the crime table, or where the result cases is 1. Use the calculate function for that. The expression, calculate function. I'm going to count the rows. Count rows on the crimes table. Where crimes as the crimes table under the resolved under result. Where result case is equal to 1. So we have 1 and 0. So if it is 1, it means resolved. If it is 0, it means unresolved. So let me show you how the column is like. We've calculated the resolved cases. We'll check the value later, but first, let's view the column for that. If it's the crimes table, the result. So we have either 0 or 1. So when it's 1, the crime was resolved. When it's 0, was not resolved. That's what it means. So let's check the value for that. Check the value for result cases. So for the year 2022, the result cases were 833. So if you clear the filter, result cases was this. So let's check for unresolved cases. Still the same formula. But now we'll replace the 1 with 0. Unresolved cases. Control crimes, calculate the controls where crime results equal to 0. So checking the value, see that unresolved cases for that year is 317. So let's do the previous year and year over year changes of both resolved cases and unresolved cases. But before that, let's create a folder where we'll place these values. So for our total crime, we're going to put this in a folder. Let's call the folder crimes. Everything about total crimes will be pushed here. And for previous year, result cases. Previous year, we're going to call it previous year result. Previous year result equals to calculate function result cases result. Oh, the result is not showing. Let me go back to the report view and do the calculation there. Let me do the calculation again. Previous year results. Now the calculate function, the expression, result cases, comma, previous year, dates, dates table, dates. So that's the previous year. For the year over year, I'm going to copy this and change the values because of time. Okay. So we measure. It will be year over year result. So have to now be result cases. Minus previous year result. We're just going to be changing these values. So I think we are good to go. Enter. So we also do the color. If this rough cases, previous year solved, divided by the previous year result also. So the condition still follows. Okay, we have the same name. This is year and year, previous year, no, result cases column. Result cases. Okay, the next is to calculate, convert this to the result cases to a text. So result cases text. To the format function, value result cases, you are converting it to a test. Okay, so What's next to do? I think we are done with that. We are done with resolved cases. We're going to also put it in a folder. I'm going to call it resolved. Let's push this. Behaviour. So we are still going to do the same thing for unresolved cases. Let's collapse this and go to the log view. This unresolved case. Let's do a new measure. Let me collapse this first. New calculation. So the previous year unresolved. Also calculate function unresolved previous year dates. So we have that. So let's get the values for the year over year. I think I copied it, should still be working. Control V, it is for the color. So this might not work until I've calculated that of the year over year. So we'll calculate it. So we are going to call it year over year unresolved. Capital letter, please. So this should be unresolved. Oh, sorry. Put unresolved cases alone. Unresolved cases. Previous year minus previous year unresolved. Same as this. Wherever previous year unresolved. So I think we are good to go with this. Analyst, work on the color. Copy this. Work on the color for that all. So why unresolved cases color. So this should be unresolved cases previous year unresolved divided by previous year unresolved. You have this. So the previous year, no, the unresolved cases, converting it to a text format. So this should be unresolved text, unresolved cases Okay. Format. Value. Unresolved cases. Put it text. Close brackets. So we are done with our three measures. Let's put this. Let's put this on a folder. Model view. Unresolved cases. Let's put it on a folder. Unresolved. I'm going to drag everything that has to do with unresolved cases in there. Okay. Now let's check the tables. There are things. Now, if you look at this, I've created a visuals for the age distributions. So we want people aged between 1991 to 2000 to know how many crimes committed. So how are we going to do it here? We're going to go to the people. I will create a new column. So let's extract the year of birth first. I think we should extract that from Peru. So we're going to head over to Peru first. People. So date of birth, we want to extract only the year. So we're going to add column of transform because we want a new column. Under the column ribbon, expand extract. We're extracting uh last characters. I think it should be this. Four characters to be here. Let's see the result text. That's it. So we'll call this year of X. Year of birth. So let's go back. So I would want to do the grouping on PowerPoint. Let me do it here probably. So the new column called age group. Age group. We are going to use a switch statement. What a switch does, the expression we want it to be true. said the people's year of birth, they are greater than or equal to 1991. Let it be from 1991 to 2000. So I'm going to copy this and replicate it as many times I want based on the condition. It's close when we are not done yet. So this is now we are going to change this value from 1981. So if it is greater than or equal to 1981, maybe between 1981 to 1990. So if this is greater than 1971, it'll be 1971 to 1980. 1980. So if it is greater than 1961, it'll be between 1961 to 1970. 1970. So if any of this condition is not met, let me retrieve all the. So let's put a comma here. So let's close the brackets. I will have this. The DAX comparison do not match values of type in considering using value of format format to convert one of those. Okay. Now let's go back to our query because we did not convert the data type of year to numbers. That's what we are supposed to do before loading it. So under people. So this is on text. Let's put it whole number. Let's close this and apply. Let's go over to the table. So it has been grouped. Perfect. Now let's go and also group the time. We have crime time. So we are going to group this crime time. Okay. So let's get a new column. We're going to call it time group. We're going to create a variable called R. And what this variable will do is you convert the crime time, this crime date time, into hour. Then we'll return Conditional statement using switch. So our expression must be true. So we're saying if the hour, that is the variable we just created, is less than 3. Now notice that the time was converted to hour. So hour between 1 to 24 hours. If it is 3, it should be between 12 a.m. to 2:59. That's almost 3 a.m. If the same hour is greater than 6, it's less than 6 rather, 3 a.m. to 5:59 a.m. I'm going to copy this and just do like that. So let's change this one. It's less than 9, so it's going to be between 6 a.m. to 8:59. Less than 12 should be between 9 a.m. to 11 to 9 a.m. It is less than 15. Should be between 3. This now will be 3 p.m. 5:59. It should be between 12 p.m. up to 2:59 p.m. So if it is less than 18 hours, should be 3 p.m. to 5:59 p.m. To be, it is less than 31. Should be between 6 p.m. to 8:59 p.m. But if not, that will be between 9 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. Those are brackets. We have created the switch statement. Now let's look at the error. The following syntax error occurred during 9 p.m. to 11:90. Oh, we didn't close the codes. I think we should just go now. So we have it time group. Okay. So I think we are now ready for our visualization. So we are going to replicate this. Okay, let's start with the KPIs. And before then, let's set our background. That's our background. So the canvas background, I'm going to use, let me use the same color I used here. I'm going to copy this. This is the color. Okay, this I actually used the dark shade where I edited the background. I'll just leave it that way and okay, what we have. Okay. Okay. So we use a line chart for the KPIs. Line charts, let's the values for the total crimes. So if you look at this, use a date, a month later column to achieve that. So we are going to also use that month later, which is this. I'm going to just copy it. Just a simple switch statement. Copy it and duplicate it on the date table. So create a new column. This just change. It should be month number. It should be month. 7 months. Okay, and we're going to sort this. It's the month. Sort this month letter column, sort it by month. So that the months will appear well formatted. We also make the calendar table as a date table. Turn it on. Choose the date. Save. Done. Now let's start. So the x-axis now will be the months later. So this is what we have. January, February, March. And let's go and format this. The title, we want title, don't want this. You want the month total prime text. Click OK. That will be correct prime. So we're going to use this font. And back. Best color. I'll make it a little bit bold. I'll drag it to the left. Subtitle. Let's turn it on and also use the year calculation for the diagrams. Year is actually a text already because of the condition that we give. Let's move it to the left also. Button moves to the left. For the color, be the text color that we. It's not gradient to be filled values from the calculation we made. Total year total prime color. Okay, so we have this. So the plus sign means the primes are increasing. So this is what we have. So what's the spacing? Let's reduce that a little bit. Okay. From the south and stars, turn up the background. I put a visual border. Okay, we are going to turn the border on. Let's use a lighter shade of our colors. So, I think I need to copy the color again. So here, a lighter shade will be somewhere here. Okay. I think it should be the same thing here. Okay. So let's use that. And the border, visual border, a little bit of white. Put a rounded corner of 15. Okay, we'll go back to the text title and change the color to white. So we have this. That's kind of the grid lines. from the x-axis, the value black, white will be okay. That's and turn off the title. Y-axis, turn off the values and the title. Yeah. Now let's go to the lines. We'll use a green color. It's smooth interpolation. And the color is green, this green. Oh, why is it taking another color? I'm changing colors. Interesting. Taking another color is changing to another color. Now let's use this. Turn on the shaded area. Make it a little bit lighter. Better transparency. Take it to 70. Okay. Okay. That is exactly what we have. Another value. I think the value for the subtitle is a little bit big. Put it on 7. Okay. We have this. Let's see how it is there. Okay. Sure. So I'm going to insert the text box. Call it limit crimes. Our normal ones, but then now to make this 16. So we can come here and put it white. Turn off the background. I have this. Yeah. Now we are going to copy this and paste it. See how it is here. Okay. Now we're going to call it resolved cases. Let's go to the values. Text title, we change it to text of resolved cases. And subtitle. Yeah, here resolved cases. So the text color, the rocket is color. Click on OK. So we have this. Now we're going to change the color of the line color. Change it to, okay, we have this. Now let's format the text. Call it resolved cases. Mhm. Now let's do that of now we did a column chart for this. Okay. So let's change the columns. The columns should be this. We have this. So we're actually going to copy this. Let's remove this. Let's use everything on this. Copy it and paste it. And let's come and format this. All these unresolved cases. Unresolved cases. Over here, this should be unresolved cases. Unresolved cases. Now let's check the title. Format it to the unresolved cases test. We have this. Now, let's go to the subtitle. Change that to unresolved, year-on-year unresolved cases. For the text color, the conditional formatting, I'll be year-on-year unresolved cases color. Okay, so we have this. The switch between the dates, the values will change. Yeah. Let's check our values. Okay. Now let's put in, this is donut charts. For the gender, values, total crimes, and the crimes gender. We have this gender should be on the legend pen. So let's format this. Let's format this to be of this format. For this here. So let's format it a little bit. So this is I'm going to make sure I follow the same labeling with visuals. People involved. So follow people involved as a title. So I'm going to place it in the middle. This should be 12. There's no subtitle. And let's go to the data label. One of the legend. Data label. We want to show the category and the data value. So go to the values. The Vadana. 10. The white. The display units, none. So we scroll down to the slices, scroll up to the slices for for the male. Let's use this color. Why for the female? Let's use no, that's not our color. That is not our color. More colors. Let's check the color we use. Yeah. So we have this. So we have this. Now let's start with our analysis again. The crime distribution by year of birth. Let me shift this a little bit. Okay. We have this. Let's bring a column chart, total column chart that would show total crimes and age range of people involved. Age group. We have this. So let's take this formatting, place it here. And then that's all. The title of this is Crime Distribution by Year of Birth. Crime now. The next visualization is how often does crime occur? This we do not need rounded corners and the visual borders. We don't need it. Same as here. We don't need it. So how often does crime occur? That is the different crimes. It is under crime types. crimes and total crimes. So we're actually going to turn this to bar charts. Showing how often crimes occur. Now we are going to increase the space so that we can see these values very well, and this should be done through beyond the column. Okay. Y-axis. So the width, let's drag it a little bit forward. Yeah, I think this is better. So violence and sexual offenses are the leading crimes. So the title is, how often does crime occur? How often crime occurs? Title cases. Okay. And the next visualization should be a line chart showcasing resolved cases versus unresolved cases. So we'll use this a little bit. I have so we have the resolved cases and unresolved cases over the month. So we are going to use month's name. So if you look at this, you notice that the months labeling are not properly arranged. So we are going to do that here. Month's name, we are going to sort it with the months. Let's go back here. I'm going to take it back. Month's name. We now have it arranged. So resolved cases and unresolved cases. Now we are going to format this first. Let me use the same formatting here. Okay. Turn off the data label first. So the lines. The lines. Resolved cases is okay. The unresolved cases, unresolved cases should be a dotted line. dotted line. And the color should be, let's use this color. Okay. So going over to the legend, let me see what happens when I turn. No, we're not going to turn on the shaded area. So going over to the legend, so turn off the title, the text, but then now let's make it white. The title is Resolved Cases as Unresolved. So, 6. Arrange. Okay. So the next visualization should be the matrix, showcasing the different months and days. Now, I forgot to change the interpolation of the line charts to smooth. Interpolation, smooth. That of resolved cases, same. Now, for the matrix, we have, so could have the rows are the day, right? And the column at the month's name. I notice the days are not formatted very well. We are going to use the weekdays to format the day. So you format this, it's the weekday. Let's go back to that. Let's untick the day and take it back. So our first day of the week is Sunday, Monday, and so on. So what we are looking for the values is total crimes. Total crimes. So these are the values. We're going to turn off the totals, column totals, and row totals. So we typically have this. Now, let's format this. Well, then let's increase the values. Okay. Column headers. Same as row headers. Now, the next thing is to format the cells to have the color that we want. So go down to the cell elements and create a conditional formatting. Turn on the conditional formatting and turn on the font color. Okay, when you are done, you're going to change the color with our color, the lowest value, so that the highest value should be our green. When I was okay. The rest color is white. We're going to make sure that copy the color so that will also affect its font color. There, like this. Turn off the background color. And the styles and presets is what we did not actually. Let me see what happens. Connection errors. Um, we actually use them. Fourth, and the cells elements. Cells elements. Okay, let me turn this one off. Cell elements here. Okay. This is the color. But I'm going to use that. So that we have an even color. Since I'm trying to replicate this. Now let me copy lighter shade. So first, let me put it there. Hex number. Let me go and copy the hex number for the lighter shade. So the hex number for the lighter shade is a do the same to the background. Have this. The there default. Now let's create scatter plots that will show the if increase in increase if time influences the crimes. So we are going to use total crime for the x-axis. No, it should be values. The bubble should be for size should